Hello. I was bugged by a few friends about how come so long I didn't come up with the new YouTube videos, so forth. Okay, so let me tell you what I'm working at in the lately. Actually, Sifu Wen Yong of Hong Kong, under the snake and crane lineage, and me are working on 3 articles in the New Martial Hero magazine. That is about the roots of Wing Chun in the Red Boat time, or the 1850. So over there we present by evidence what we found. We share what we found, and about some important issue in Wing Chun. So if anybody interested in that, buy a copy of next issue, or this general issues of a New Martial Hero Hong Kong. Okay, to see that. It is pretty interesting because we're basing on facts, on writing which is we can find today, not by speculations, and so take a look. Okay, because of that, I want to share with you this thing. You know what is Yik Kam SLT is about? People sometimes asking me about that. So what is this? Okay, well, I can say, oh, it is a set, it's doing this, it's a Wing Chun set, and so forth, going on and on. But then, what is this for? What is this for? Okay. So let me share with you what I see via my eyes. In the say, if we go back to the old ancient the Chinese history, the time the history, the Red Boat era, and see what it is. Okay, as we know, if this is 1850, then the reason people practice a set like the Yik Kam SLT, the long set, is for two purposes. One is for self-defense, because it's a martial arts. The second thing is for the health, strengthening the body. So self-defense meaning you have to be able to manage the situations of conflict, physical conflicts, and strengthening the body, or is making the body healthier. Okay, so this is what will be in the ancient Chinese mindset when people practice an art or a set, or to develop their kung fu. Okay, so that is what it is for. We know that. However, every set has its uniqueness. So what is this set about? Okay. So in today's words, I would like to share with you my view of this Yik Kam SLT sets. Okay, according to the Red Boat time, era, times of evidence, and so forth. The Yik Kam SLT sets, parallel or similar with other lineages Wing Chun's teaching at that time, is a transformer. This transformer, if you practice it, is going to transform the person who practices into, quote unquote, a monster with crane limbs and snake body. That's what it is. So you take a human, you practice the SLT, you transform it, the end result will be a snake body and crane wing and crane's claw or paws type of monster. Visualize it. If we can visualize it, that's what you are going through. So the Yik Kam SLT is doing that. Okay. So then you say that, okay, so what is this so-called snake body, crane wings, or crane paws, crane limbs type of animal is about? Okay, that is the engine of the art. Okay, meaning it is like a sport car. And because it is a sport car, it has different types of characteristics. Okay? So in other words that you take a man, you go through the ceiling town, you transform it into a snake body, crane limbs type of animal or monsters. Then that monster have its philosophy of dealing with things, okay, and the implementations of the philosophy. Okay. So stay with me with this. Okay. Now you take a man, you practice the ceiling cup, you transform into a snake body, crane limbs type of monster. And the mindset of the monster is only doing one thing. In the Chinese, it's called 用中守中. Or it means using the center, guarding the center. Okay, that's a philosophy. Now, so you say, well, it is a little more difficult to understand what we mean by 用中守中, or using the center and guarding the center. Okay, then let's explain it. So this using the center and guarding the center means, number one, 中门不让子午不离, meaning that not giving away the middle door, not leaving the center line. That's number one. The second is 封闭借来法, sealing off borrowing others' incoming techniques. So in other words, borrowing other people's incoming techniques, using that to seal him off. The third one is 借力打力, borrowing force, counter force, borrow his force, counter force. Okay. So these three things. One is not giving away the center line, or not giving away the center door, okay, not leaving the center line, okay, which is 中门不让子午不离. Second is 封闭借来法, meaning that seal the opponent off with his own techniques. The third is 借力打力, using his force to counter or break his own force. So these three things, this is the philosophy. Okay, these three things philosophy. So now you have this man, you get into the ceiling tower, it transforms into a snake body and crane limbs type of a monster, and his mindset is only one, using the center, guarding the center. That's it. Okay? So this is philosophy. And in order to implement this philosophy, they need a momentum, because that is we're talking about motion here. Motion, then you talk about momentum. Okay. So what is those type of momentum to implement this guarding the center, using the center philosophy? Simple. The simplest one is, say, you strike a sun punch to the middle line, to the center line, because it's clear, you just go strike. You take the center door, you got the center. Just one strike. This satisfy or implement the using the center and guarding the center. By striking like this, I do not give away my middle door. I stick with the center line, and by doing this, because he have nothing there, it's clear there, I use him to set his own action or non-action to seal him off. And because he's standing like that, not moving or coming with me or whatever, I'm using his force to destroy him. So a direct center line hit is satisfying implementing this using center, guarding center philosophy. The second type is angling Tansao. Come at me. Same thing. This Tansao go toward his center line. That is not giving away my center line, not my center door, not giving always stick with the center line. Okay, satisfied that one. And then is satisfied because his strike is coming in. I'm using his strike to actually carry him away, to segmentize him away. So he punched me, I go this way. So this hand is, if the other hand want to come up, that means he has to pass through his own hand. So I seal him off. I seal the other hand off with this hand. Okay, which is like thumb. The third thing, because I'm using this force to drive to the center line, his force somehow jammed in his shoulder area. So this Tansao, just a simple Tansao, it fulfills that three philosophy. Okay, not giving away the middle door, not leaving the center line. Okay, number one philosophy. Second philosophy, using his technique as his limbs to seal himself off. The third, using his force to break his force. In this case, jamming his shoulder because of doing that. So that is the philosophy. Okay. Same thing. If I use the Noelin Sao or Kam Sao on pinning him on his elbow, same thing, I fulfill that philosophy. Okay. Another one is coming in. If I shoot up like that, you're coming in via my bridge. I turn into the Bong Sao, using the force vector, going to his center line. Same thing, using his hand to parry the other hand, and using his force to jam him. That also satisfied his the philosophy. Now, so how about this? Something we call like the press hand. Somebody call it Pak Sao or something. People punch it. Same thing. Okay. So that is the philosophy, and that is the momentum. Now, however, if you look one step backward, this momentum, a strike momentum, a Tansao momentum, a Noelin momentum, a Bong Sao momentum, okay? What do you call it, Pak Sao or Kam Sao, depend, the crashing back momentum. All this momentum need two things to implement it. One is the techniques. Say this is a San Pan techniques. San Pan techniques has to have the Jing with it. If we define Jing as the change of the force, This is a sun punch with a jing with it. This is a tan sao with a jing with it. This is a noi lin with a jing with it. Okay. This is a bong sao with a jing with it. Okay. This is a pak sao or kam sao, whatever we call. Like people punch you, you just reflects back his momentum. Not just the part one, the one which reflects himself back. Okay. There's a jing with it. So you have the techniques and you have the jing to implement this momentum. So again, you have a human, you practice the Zhulian Tao, it transforms you to the snake body, crane, limbs type of an animal, and the animal only have one mindset, which is guarding the center, using the center. And in order to implement that, to realize that philosophy, they need this momentum. And in order to realize, implement the momentum, they need the techniques and the jing. Okay. So this how far we get into, right? So we have the sun punch techniques, we have the tan sao techniques, we have the noi lin techniques, we have the bong sao techniques, we have the pak sao techniques, we call pak sao here, or kam sao in Yik Kam. Okay. Now there's the techniques. The jing part is three types. The first is the force from the ground up, leg chung lei type of jing, which is where using, like for example in this tan sao, using it to pin him to the center line, or this one same thing, or this same thing. Okay, so there's one type of jing. The second type of jing is the one I'm using in the bong sao. What happens is that I get this hands out there, and then I get pushed in, I get counter in, and I move sideways. Again, I issue the force vector straight. So second type. And the second type, there's second A and second B type. This one is the second A type, is using the turn to exchange the space and the force, or the jing, okay, type. Okay. So instead of taking the force straight, it using the space to dissipate and refocus the jing, the force change. Okay, that's one type. Second type, type one. The second is like when you're doing this type of this type of a jing. Okay, say doing a palm like this, a palm strike like this, a palm strike like this. I'm still rotating. You see, I'm rotating. See this one? Okay, this one, and this one. I still have a rotating. And the first one is, as we say that we just take the space and dissipate the force coming in, and reissue the force. The second thing is we rotate. At the same time, actually we do a cross type of a jing, where this hand is aligned with my left hand, aligned with my right leg, and my right hand aligned with my left leg type of jing. It's a cross, still spin. So the first one, again, leg chung te is direct up and down via the 7 volts, The second is involve a spin, okay, or turn. And then there has two types of turn. One is this type of turn. The second is this type of turn. Okay. Then the third type. The third type is on spot, without turning or minimum turning. It has to be able to take an issue. For example, it's pushed to my chest. Has to be able to take the force down to the ground, and then at this instance, issue. Okay. So, or I can take it flat down, straight down, an issue, or I can have a very small a segment of a slight twist like this to issue. Okay. So okay, I do it more slowly. So taking it force, issuing up, taking it down, issuing up, or taking it out, issuing up. Okay, so that just a little bit like that is issuing, and that is different from the second type where you have to go for so big a space. Okay, so there's three types of jing. So usually, if you the difference between the second and the third type is the third type actually practically don't move your step. They perform like another way say everything is stay similar, and you need to call or evoke your jing for receiving or issuing at spot. The second one still you have a time and space delay there or gaps there. Okay. The third one is to just on spot touch it go. Okay. So the third one is referred to the Wing Chun short jing, where the whole body needs to be able to take it. Okay. On the third section. So there's three types of jing. So back to the momentum. This is, we know, the first type of jing. So if I go straight like that, it pushes me back, it gets from my bridge. We know this is the second type of jing. The part down type, we know there's the third type of, the second type B of the jing. Okay, so this is type B, the second A, this is a type B. Okay, and we know if I get pushed into it, that is the third type of the jing. Okay, so you have from the philosophy, you use momentum to implement the philosophy. You use the techniques and jing to implement the momentum. Now, technique without jing will not do it, or do it different way, and so that's how it is. Okay. Now, the jing type. Again, the jing is related to the snake body, because if the snake body or it doesn't have the coil spring body, then it will not be able to implement these three types of jing. Okay. So all this from this thing is going up and coming down to this thing and this thing, the second type, and to the of this thing, three type. You need the snake body, where joint by joints. Okay. It's not rigid. It is a very flexible, elastic of a type of body where you can make use of the force vectors and force flows, or force jing flow and jing path. Okay. So that's what it is. Okay. Now, shooting power. If you ask me, then where is it people can develop this type of stuff? Well, the two sections in Siling Tao, the San Bai Fat section, which is the Yatan San Folk section, is developing those type of jing. The snake section, which is in the section before the Yatan San Folk or the San Bai Fat section, okay, most the pre 1900 Siling Tao has it. Okay. That section is actually transforming the human to the snake part, and this one is the crane and the snake, actually both the engine and the limbs. So okay, this is a snake. This is a crane. This is the crane's paw. This is the crane's paw. Okay. This is the crane wing. So snakes. This is snakes. Okay. Okay. And this is the crane. This is the crane. This is the crane. Okay. So that's where in Siling Tao the transformations of snake and crane is. And of course, this jing or this jing you can see in the second sections of the Yik Kam Siling Tao. This thing is in the third section. Okay. So if you look at that Siling Tao, as well, I said that it is a transformation machine. We take the human, practice the Siling Tao, transform it into a snake body and crane limbs monster. And because it is now a crane limbs and snake body monster, its mindset is using middle, guarding middle, or not giving away middle door, stick with the center line, using others incoming to seal him off and borrow his opponent's force to break the opponent. Okay, and using this and with this kind of mindset, they have a different, unique type of momentum to implement it, and then in order to have that momentum, you need to have the techniques and the jing to implement the momentum. Notice we didn't even talk about how to strike and so forth yet. We talk about only the manage of the condition. Right? This is a manage. This is a manage. This is a manage. This is a manage. The force is pinning him and so forth, but we didn't talk about strike or hurting people. No, we talk about manage that situations or having a control at the situations, not talking hurting, right? Okay, so you see that it is the art of having a handling of the situations. And have an alternative of hurting or not hurting. Okay, that is a kind of uniqueness too. And of course, you can go same time, okay, or you can do a whole bunch of different stuff, right? But that is not the spotlight. In the spotlight is at every situations. This philosophy apply in different situations to manage the conditions, the situations, and as what the outcome need to be, one have an alternative to choose. And of course, violence and hurting people is not the the final what needs to be done. Okay? So how to solve the situation properly is the key. Okay? So it's not keeping thinking about, oh, I need to hurt him this way, I want to hit him this way. No, it's not. It is you handle the situations and see what is the best way to end the situations. Okay. So that's how I see it from understanding this Yik Kam sets. Okay. So we call it self-defense. It doesn't call about to hurt people and so forth, right? So this is how the so-called self-defense parts of the civilian house can be implemented in my understanding. Okay. So, and of course, because due to the exercising or practicing or drilling the body, like in Yik Kam transform the lower four layer, people get strong, get a better body, get a stronger body. So if you look at the Yik Kam transform the 5 layer, the body, the mind, the breathing, the chi layer, and then the last layer, the momentum, the jing, and the philosophy. You can see that the combat part is actually the 5th layer, or the application of it. And the first 4 layer is actually the body of the arts. And the first 4 layer contribute to supporting for the combat application and also supporting a healthy body. So this is how in the ancient time, when people talk about practicing this set, then one can get a strong body and ability to defend oneself. And of course, as the momentum and the jing and the techniques we're talking about just now about the philosophy, in Wing Chun, one carry out the experiment in the Chi Sao or in the wooden dummy. Okay, so that's how it fits in. Okay, so that is the snake crane significant. Okay, start from the end. A snake ceiling car is going to transform a person into a snake body crane limbs to how it become like that. Okay. And here we need to have one understanding. All these things will never happen if the so-called Yik Kam is not set in the proper way. Okay, so what do you mean? You can ask me that. Okay, let me tell you this. By reality, everybody can go try it. If you tense your leg, tensing your leg, your breathing will never get to your lower abs. That is the open secret. If you want to have your breathing going down to the lower abs, okay, or the long, big volume breathing, you need to loosen up your legs. If you don't lose it up, it doesn't work. Try it. Okay. So it's not a theory. It's a law of it's a nature. It's a nature characteristics. If you cannot loosen up the leg, it's not going to go here. It's going to stop. That means your volume of breathing will be low compared with those who can going down into the low abs breathing. That means your body energy is a different type. Okay. The second thing, that is almost like saying that, oh yeah, if you can do low abs breathing, say you have a 6-cylinder engine. If you are doing a chest breathing, say you have a 2-cylinder engine. That is a different due to that. Okay. long-term practice of this low abs breathing or stuck in the chest, sluggish breathing, your engine is analogy to that. 2-cylinder sluggish engine or a 6-cylinder sport car engine. Okay. And the second thing is this. The second thing is that if your leg is not loose, your force will not going down the ground. It's going to break somewhere around your waist or your joint, wherever you tense it up. The force will not going down. That's another reality. Okay? You won't be able to take it. The body will break. Okay? So if one wants to really transform oneself into the snake body, crane limbs type of a monster, one absolutely have to relax the bottom half of the body. And the rigid clamping of knees or holding up anywhere is not going to do it, because it is just violating the nature of the body. Okay. So why do I mention this thing? Because, as I mentioned before, this is very critical. This Yik Kam platform, if it is not handled properly, the snake crane transformation is not going to happen. If it's not going to happen, it takes away your jing. Sure, you can brute force it with the techniques, but it will not be on optimum anymore. And the sets will not doing the transformation optimally, not doing it effectively. And at the end, sure, you can brute force the whole thing, but this is not effective or efficient or optimum compared with what it is meant for. Okay. So that is how I see the Yik Kam SLT today. Okay. Again, it's just my opinion. I can be right, I can be wrong. I just give it to you so that share it with you so that you have a reference on how or what do I see in my eyes. Okay. And that is how thing I see if this is 1850s. Okay. And of course, things change, evolve down to today's, and as in the 3 articles in the New Master Hero, we have come to a conclusions of what is very likely to change between 1850 and today's Wing Chun King. Yes, there's an evolution. Okay. And historically, we can find evidence for that with the writings and the history, okay, which is saying in the sharing in the New Master Hero article. Okay. So this is for today. Thank you.